Hi, this is Cousin Russ. Uh, I have an observation that I would like to share with you. It's got to do with uh, when you do a web merge with Family Tree Maker 2017 on a Social Security Death Index record, SSDI for most of us. It's a couple things to watch out for on the data that you are bringing into Family Tree Maker and what Ancestry is providing to us, or not providing to us. But this is my observation, and I thought I would share it with you. So let me go over to Family Tree Maker, and there we go. It's Family Tree Maker. I'm on a person, and there's a shaky leaf hint that says I have 9 Ancestry records. So I'm going to click on that. And the first one is not what I'm looking for. There's the Social Security Death Index record. And I'm just going to select it because I want to compare at the bottom. Lower left is what's in my database. The lower right is what the record is saying. And it looks like we're pretty close. The birth dates, the name, spelling doesn't count. Names change. This is a transcription of a record that we cannot look at. So we're taking the word for the person who brought this data from the SSDI into this database at Ancestry. I believe that this is the right person. So I'm going to do a merge, and it asks me to compare what's in my tree on the left and what's in the website on the right. And I want to keep this as an alternate name because I want to record in my database exactly what I saw on the record. And I will have to evaluate when I get the record into my database, evaluate which one of these names is correct. The birth has the birth date, the full birth date and location in my database, and the record only has the date. It's suggesting to discard. I will not discard that because that's different information. I would put the citation from the SSDI onto this fact, and this record does not say where the person was born. So I'm going to add it as an alternative fact. The death date I did not know. I have a item, the fact that it's September 1975. That's new data for me. And one of the things to look out for, but I'll tell you what it means, is this civil fact. When it's brought in from the SSDI and Ancestry into Family Tree Maker has put this location into a civil fact. That's one of the things that I wanted to point out to you. So I'm going to click next, and I'm going to merge the record because I do believe this is the correct record. And I'm going to do one more thing, which you won't be able to see on the screen, but I'm going to copy and paste what is down here. I'm going to do a copy and paste on this data because I'm going to put this data into Family Tree Maker because it has some information that I want to look at, may want to look at later. I'm going to click on sources because now I want to take that data and put it into a source template, and the data came into this location, into this source group. I know that because I've done this more than once, so I know where it's going to end up. And I'm going to click on notes, and then I'm going to paste the data that was on the Ancestry information about the citation. I want to paste it here so I have it in my notes. Now I'm going to do a couple more things. I want to get rid of some check marks because I consider the citation text field, this field right here on the right-hand side, to be for my information. What I'm going to put in there is the space colon space accessed 21 December 2017. I'm just going to put it there. And I'm going to highlight the name because this name is how it came in from Ancestry. I'm going to hit Control C for copy. And I'm going to put my cursor at the top of the citation detail field. And I'm going to put entry or Control V colon. Anytime that I'm looking at an index, and that's what we're looking at, we're not looking at a record, we're looking at an index, I precede the citation detail with entry for and the name. In this case, what is brought in from Ancestry is fine. It says it has the Social Security number, the issue that it was dated, and when it was issued. I'm going to leave that in the citation. I just inserted entry 4 ahead of that. This is not the template format. I already have a record group for the record group, so I pull that pull down menu and it is right there. So my record is now in the template format, but I need to highlight and copy that data, double click on the citation, click reference note, and right after Ancestry.com, I'm going to paste that access date information and click OK. So my reference note in the lower right-hand corner now contains my the citation as close to evidence explained as we can get it. I click on notes, and now I'm going to go to the person. And what I'm going to do now is I want to make my reference note. So I'm on the profile for this person. I'm going to click on notes, and I have all of my notes begin with in bullet points, and I'm going to put 21 December 2017, space dash, Social Security Death Index for the name. Which is highlighted up here. If I had more than one person on this record, I would highlight this so I could paste it in the reference note, the research note for anybody else that I have. In this case, I don't have any other information, anybody else to add. Now, what I need to do now is bring back the data that is in the web search workspace, or I have it on a second screen, but I'm going to show you because what's important is I want to make sure that all this information is in my database. Now, I may just be able to, I'll move it over here. The name has already been cited for me. While I'm here, I'm going to select that citation, copy the citation, so it's in I remember I have 2 clipboards in Family Tree Maker, one for the citation, one for notes. I have picked up the citation notes. Now, what is not brought in to Family Tree Maker, but I want it brought in, I'm going to add a fact called Social Security number, and I'm going to type it in. I could copy and paste it from my other browser or from the web search workspace, and I'm going to put a citation on it. You'll notice that it is privatized so that nobody else can see it. It's for my data. And I have done this because there's a lot of times, especially for males, where there's military service, you may have the same person, same name but it's really two people, and the thing that tells the difference may be the Social Security number. The next thing that was on the record, and I will show it to you. The next thing was there's the Social Security number, the birth date, the death year, or when this person died. All it said was September 1975, but the death date, this one was okay. This one was okay. It said September 1975, which is fine. But sometimes, and this is not a good example, it will show the last fact. I have one on my screen. It has the last residence. When this record was brought into Family Tree Maker, Family Tree Maker put the last residence, this location, into the death field. This record does not say where this person died. They said where the last residence was. That is not the death location. In this case, we're good because he died. The only thing the record has that he died in September 1975. What if I had this? If I was working this record, I have a fact called last residence. So I'm going to click the plus sign, last residence, and I would put in the last residence that was on this record. In other words, I would put Wilmington, New Castle County, and the zip code would be in the description line. So I would just enter the last residence and put in the location here. And that's what that's not even what the Pennsylvania civil fact is. The point that I want to make is what Family Tree Maker does, if there is a last residence fact in the web merge, it will put that last residence location into this field. That is not where it belongs. The person did not die at the last residence. The last residence field, and let me just bring it back to you, what this information contains is usually where the last benefits for the Social Security was mailed to. The best example that I have is my grandfather. My grandfather's last residence fact is in New Jersey. My grandfather rarely visited New Jersey, let alone lived or died in New Jersey. He was from Pennsylvania. So his last residence fact says New Jersey. That's where his last benefits were mailed to. It was not, that is not his last residence. So I delete the data in the death location. If it were to say Wilmington, New Castle County, Delaware, I would remove it and put it into the last residence. Now I'm going to delete that because I don't need it. In the example that I'm merging, this guy, I want to deal with this information. The state where the SS Social Security number was issued. I want to record that because that puts a date and a place. So I have a fact called state issued. And the date said before 1951. Do some research on Social Security Death Index and you'll know why that is important. And the fact that it was issued in Pennsylvania. So I want to capture this data. So sometime before 1951, in the state of Pennsylvania, that Social Security number was issued. That state issued is where the civil fact came from. So the family tree maker brought it in from Ancestry as Pennsylvania and put it into the civil fact. I have no clue why. I don't want it there. It does not belong there. It belonged in a state issued. So the point of this recording is that when you are bringing in information from the Social Security Death Index from Ancestry, look at the death place, look at the record. The record does not say where the person died. The record says last residence. I create a fact called last residence that may give me a clue, like in my case, where my parents lived. I just use that because that's the one I know the best, and how I stumbled on the fact that what the last residence means. Go look at the Social Security Death Index collection, and you will see what that information means. I do copy the Social Security Social Security number. It's in my database. It is private. It will not be uploaded to Ancestry. I also put the select to bring in and manually enter the state that was issued and when. I have a whole lot of Social Security numbers that were issued before 1951. History lesson is there. It's not my job to teach that. But the thing that I want to point out is that SSDI does not say where the person died. It only gives the date. And remember also, some information will not be brought in, like you won't see a Social Security number on recent deaths, although there's an SSDI record. So that's my observations of dealing with a web merge using the Social Security death index record. Hope it helps. If you have any comments, just leave it in on the blog or in the Cousin Russ genealogy community on Google+. Thank you. Have a great day.